In the fourth video of GitHub video series, today we will discuss about commit, working directory and staging area. I hope you have watched our last video about clone and fork. If you haven't watched still, I will keep link to that video in the I button. Please watch the previous video on clone and fork and come to this one so that you will be getting better understanding. As I always say, if you think this video series on GitHub is useful and informative, please share this video to all of your friends so that they will be also getting benefit from this one. With that being said, I welcome everyone to another interesting video of GitHub video series. Welcome to Netcode. Now let's see what is commit. If we made some changes to a file which is in a Git repository, commit is a way to save those changes permanently to the repository. You can think commit just like a saving a file, but there are some differences. Each commit will create a new state for a file. Also, there will be a unique commit ID associated with each commit. Using this commit ID, we will be able to travel back to this state even if we changed this file further. Right? If you take an example, if you want to see how the file was looking 1 month back, what you can do, you can take commit ID of the file which is having 1 month back, and you can just move to that particular state. Now let's see how can we do a commit to a file and how can we move through a different state in the GitHub UI. Okay, I am in a Cisco DevNet repository here. Let me make some changes to the file. On of the file. So just click edit. I will just edit here, testing. And if you scroll down, here we have option to commit the changes. Click on the commit. Right, now you can see name is changed. This is testing, right? And if you want to see the history of a file, if you want to see various states of this file, you just need to click history, right? If you just click the history, you can see all the commit which we done to this file so far. You can see it was created on 2017 and later we did some commit and I have done a few commits, so just to see various history. So that's that. Now if you want to see how the file was looking when it was created, what you can do, if you want to move the state of file at the beginning, you can just click this button. Then we will be in the state in this particular commit. This is commit ID. This is what I said, commit ID. Once we move that particular commit, you can see how the file was created in the beginning, right? And if you want to go, if you open this one, right? If I open this one, we will be seeing like what and all file is added in this particular commit. Like there are more details about commit. One commit can have more than one file. Changes in more than one file. It need not be just one file, right? So you can see there are multiple file has changed in this commit, and this is the commit ID. If you take another example, this is the commit which we did in our last session, right? Yes, I just opened this commit. You have details of the commit here, right? What has changed? This particular line is deleted, and red means deleted, green means this particular line is added. All right, and this one is the commit ID again. And if you want to go to this particular state of the file, either, as I said, you can click here. Now we are in this particular commit. In this particular commit state, or in this particular state of the file. And if you wanna, there is another way. What is another way is that just click on here and click here, view file, right? Again, you will be at the same state on that particular commit. That's how you can commit some changes to a file. Also, you can see history of a file, you can see various state of a file, and if you want, you can travel back to those state and you can see how the file was looking in the past. Alright, now let's move to working directory. As name indicates, working directory is a place where we will be making changes to the file, where we will be adding or deleting the file. What I mean is, when we make some changes to a file, the file will be in working directory. The changes we are making in working directory will not save to Git until we commit it. When you make some changes to a file in your working directory, Git will recognize that there is a change happened to this particular file, but it will not save that file until we are doing a commit. Also, if any file if any file stayed in a working directory, Git will not track those files. That's why working directory has another name called untracked area of Git. Now using the command git status, we can see files, what are all the files under the working directory. Now let's take an example and see how we can see those. Okay, I'm in a git bash. I just move to my directory and let's move to my repository. Okay, and as we did in the last session, we'll make some changes to this particular file, right? Here I'll just add this is testing, right? And I will just saving it. Okay, done. Now we just have made some changes to this particular file, and we know this file now will be in a working directory because we have made some changes, right? So to see the files which is in a working directory, you can use the command git status, right? If you use git status, you can see the files which is in a working directory. You see here, you can see this particular file is modified. This is actually recognized by Git. Git has recognized that this file has modified, but Git will not save this particular changes to Git repository until we commit it. Also, Git will not track this file. Once we made some changes to a file, the file will be in a working directory and Git will not track those files until we commit it. But before we doing commit, we need to say to Git to track these files. That's why we need staging area. Staging area is a place where we can add the file from working directory to it, so that Git will be start tracking it. Once we add a file from working directory to staging area, Git will be start tracking that file, and after that we can do a commit. How can we add a file from working directory to staging area? Using the command git add. Let's see using in our git bash how can we add a file. So now we have modified this particular file, and the file is in the git working directory, right? The file is in git working directory. And before I show how we can change how we can add the file to staging area, let me show how we can see the difference between previous state of the file and this change. It's using git diff command. If you issue git diff command, you can see what are all the changes happen to this file, right? This particular name is added and this one is got deleted. Those two changes are happened. Right. Now let's see how can we how can we add this file to staging area. It's a command. Okay, I'll just copy this file name now. I'm just copying this file name, right? I will clear it. Git add file name. This is the one method, right? We can add the using this particular command git add and the file name. But if you have more than one or more than two files, like there are multiple files, instead of adding file one by one, you can add git add dot. This also will work, right? In this case, all the files in the working directory will be adding to staging area. In this, if you use this command, that is git add file name, this particular file will get added into staging area. And once we added a file to staging area, this will looks like this, right? We can see again the files in the staging area using the same command git status. And if you issue the git status, you can see this particular file is in a staging area now. Now this needs to be committed. This particular file now it's tracked by Git. Now we need to commit these changes to get saved into Git repository. As we know, to commit these changes, what we need to use the command git commit and put some message here. What we are doing with the -m is just we are just mentioning what the commit is about. It's a commit message, right? It's a commit message. I will just mention like this is a test commit. This is them. This is actually a detail about the commit. This will be like when someone check about this commit in the future, they will be able to see this particular message, so they will understand why this commit has happened, right? Done. Now if you see git status, there will be nothing, because there is no change happened to any file, because whatever change happened to the file, we moved into staging area and we committed into git repository, and now it's saved, and there is no other untracked file or unsaved changes in this particular repository. Now, if you want to see all this commit happened in this particular repository, you can use one command, git log. Right? This will show all the details of the commit. But again, this is long. But one more, maybe we can use this particular command to see logs again. That is git log one line. Right? If you see here, you can see this is the commit ID. This is the commit we did now, right? This commit was a description, so that's why the description is very important about the commit. The description should be very precise and accurate, so that it will be helpful for your other team members to understand why you did this particular change. Okay, to conclude what we discussed so far, there are three stages to a Git repository, right? There are three stages for a Git repository: working directory, staging area, and repository. Once we made some changes to a file, the file will be in a working directory, and we need to add that file into staging area. When the file is in a working directory, Git will not track that file. That's why we need to add that file into staging area. So we made some changes to file, then we add that file into staging area from the working directory using the command git add. Once the file in the staging area, Git will be tracking that file, but Git will not save those changes to the file until we do a commit. So next step is doing a git commit. So yeah, there are three stages: working directory, staging area, and repository. Once we made some changes to file, will be in the git working directory, and after we adding that file in the staging area, that will be in again staging area, and again when we do commit, those changes will get saved into the repository. So this flow, I think you should be, this flow should be in your mind always when you're working, when you're working in the git. Alright, that's all about today's session. We discussed so far about commit, working directory, and staging area. If you have any question, please feel free to ask in the comment section. Also, you can ask your question in the Telegram group. You can find the group link in the description. If you haven't joined yet, please join there. We can discuss everything there. I hope today's video was informative and interesting. So if you think so, you can like this video and share with all of your friends and help us to reach to the maximum people. Once again, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in next video.